Chairman and CEO of Dell Corporation, once said, "Technology now allows people to connect anytime, anywhere to anyone in the world, from almost any device. This is dramatically changing the way people work, facilitating 24/7 collaboration with colleagues, dispersed across time zones, countries, and continents." In a nutshell, the nature of work has changed. There's increasing business complexity and a labor shortage of qualified workers. Top talent chooses where to live and then where to work. Employees prefer more personal time over more money, and we have 4 generations of workers on the same team. Technology has created an environment where instant personal and network connections can occur anytime and anywhere, and information is a commodity with mass data at our fingertips. The U.S. knowledge workforce desires increased flexibility, workplace flexibility. 65% of workers would choose flexible work arrangements over other benefits. Convention was that we must all work in the same place. Best practices has become work when and where it's most effective. One of my favorite expressions for framing remote working is work is what you do, not a place you go. Recognizing the nature of work has changed is one thing, but how do you help to support it? Having implemented telecommuting programs for multiple organizations, I've read dozens upon dozens of white papers and articles relaying top tips. I'm going to share some powerful suggestions that I've learned, and they include: one of the biggest misconceptions about managing remote workers is that it requires an entirely different skill set. This was said by Mark Mortensen, an associate professor of organizational behavior at INSEAD. He once explained that we have a tendency to overcompensate and approach remote workers and virtual teams as mythical beasts. Remote workers shouldn't be thought of differently. They're still people working in an organization getting things done. That said, managers do need to put in extra effort to cultivate a positive team dynamic and ensure that the entire team is connected and collaborates. This often requires more proactivity on behalf of the manager. So let's say you're interested in expanding flexible working, but you're not sure where to start. Here are some basic tips. Keep an open mind about what you might need to do. Pay attention to the signs from your team. Rely heavily on key employees that are respected by others. They'll help tell you when different actions are needed. These are the ones that usually notice things before you do sometimes. Empower your team to talk openly about the issues and the needs that may arise. Empower your team to take action when needed. Keep in mind that many of the needs from you as a manager are not things usually taught in business schools. Never stop building and supporting your team. And during the transition, I have some other recommendations for you. Surface issues and questions. Schedule a team norm discussion with your team. This is an opportunity to outline expectations for communicating regularly. Encourage your team to ask questions. If you don't know an answer, that's okay. Let them know that you don't have one. Come to HR for help. Reinforce your new team norms by reminding employees and showcasing good behaviors yourself. Begin talking with your team about how to handle your individual and team meetings. You might need to meet differently, different frequency, days when everyone's in the office. Now, once you've implemented or you've expanded remote working, you want to encourage spur-of-the-moment meetings, like a lunch meeting when team members are in town or in the office. Schedule regular on-site meetings where everyone can see each other face-to-face. If you have 100% teleworkers on your team, plan to take advantage of when they're actually in the office to have team events and team meetings. For example, let's say you have some regulatory training and everyone has to fly in for that. The day before, have a team meeting to connect on key strategic issues. Of course, encourage your team members to use technology tools for collaborating and connecting. Look ahead for holidays and other events. Make sure that they're scheduled and on everyone's calendars so they can plan for them. And lastly, talk with other managers about what works best for them and their teams. Share the best practices you've learned and learn from one another.